All right, Alien Romulus. You want to read your ticket first, or you want me to go?
Go if you have yours pulled up. Go ahead, because I got to figure out the filter nightmare.
All right. Alien Romulus. I saw this at the AMC Classic Normal 14, the worst theater I've ever been to. But I keep coming back because $5 tickets every day of the week is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so I said 25 minutes of trailers, 25 minutes, and most of them weren't even slightly interesting. This movie sucked, but damn, was it cool to see on the big screen. The characters are bad, the plot goes nowhere, and the themes are unclear at best. But Fede Alvarez might be the best director in the game right now when it comes to creating suspense. A lot of moments I think I'll remember seeing on the big screen. Blast grade A minus, movie grade D plus. I saw this with
Whoa.
Morgan, and Jack Began commented, "Can't wait to see this one."
Yeah, I'm sure he's gnawing at the bit.
Yeah.
Jack Beaton's not going to come anywhere near this movie. So my Romulus ticket is spoiler filled. I did put a tag on it. So if you're on the app, you got to tap the spoilers tag if you want to read it. So I guess this is a spoiler warning. If you want to go see it, go see it. This is a minor spoiler. If you're a big alien movie nerd, I would maybe stay away. But if you don't care, I don't think it's a big deal. But I saw this at Kendall GDX with my mom. She went with me because
Nice.
Katie couldn't go. Needed someone to go with because I didn't want to watch this one alone. I was petrified. Saw it at 5:35 on GDX, and the review reads: Alien Resurrection done right. That alien human hybrid got the biggest oh shit from someone in my crowd. Me, I was sick to my stomach looking at it. Absolutely horrified. At least there was some Prometheus love.
Nice.
Blast grade B plus, movie grade B minus. I don't think this reaches the heights of the peak of this franchise, but it does enough right where I felt okay with the experience.
Okay. I like that. I got to bring up real quick tangent. Because you said you were petrified to see this one, and if you know me, you know that I am so desensitized to horror movies. I feel like I see everything coming from a mile away, all that jazz. I recently watched a scary movie around 1 in the morning, and it was a 5 out of 5 for me, and legitimately scared me.
No way.
Yeah,
What's it called?
it was
Oh
called.
god, I need to stay away from this one.
I'm trying to find it. I actually recommended it to you as a watch that I think you'd like.
Oh, the 70s one?
Yeah, Messiah of Evil, 1974. There is something about this movie that just like it puts you in this place. It's kind of like liminal spaces. You ever see those like TikToks with all like the
Yeah.
creepy places? It's like you're in one of those for like an hour and a half, and you're following this girl, and you don't really know what's happening for a long time. There's a character that kind of reminds me of you. His name's Albert. Um,
I'm gonna watch this and Albert's gonna be just the biggest asshole ever.
uh, no, he's just a murderer. But enough tangent. If you haven't seen this, go and watch it. I thought it was awesome. I think I saw it on Tubi. So, or no, maybe on Shutter. One of the two.
All right, I have access to both. I think I can make it work.
Um,
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. It's rare for me.
What about Romulus though? Would you give that out of 5?
1.5.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, it's that D plus movie grade, man. This was a bad movie in my opinion. Did this live up to your expectations though? There was some hype around it on your end because one of your favorite reviewers had mentioned that it ties into Prometheus.
Yeah, so Sean Chandler, shout out Sean Chandler. His channel just continues to grow. Guy's the man.
Nice.
He's from Texas, so
Cool.
big Texas guy. But Sean had mentioned in his spoiler-free thoughts, like, hey, you should not only watch Alien first, but also revisit Prometheus. I think it would be helpful to watch. And as a huge Prometheus fan, this got me excited. I was excited for Romulus. I figured it'd be a good watch, but if it's gonna tie into things from a Prometheus lens, I'm all in. Now I'm even more excited. From that lens, though, I think I got myself way out of frame and shot my expectations to the roof because there really isn't that many Prometheus nods. You get a couple here and there, like some Easter eggs, and the ending, I think, kind of lenses itself into Prometheus, but it's more so just the motivations of the big corporation behind
Yeah,
the alien.
right.
That's about it. So it definitely did not live up to the expectations of that.
That's a shame. Yeah, I felt like most of the Prometheus stuff was just like a couple of fan service moments. This kind of felt like The Force Awakens for Alien fans, in my opinion.
The one thing that did live up to the expectations, all I kept hearing about was the practical effects, the practical effects, practical effects. I thought
Hmm.
everything looked great. The xenomorph design
Yes.
was incredible, and the camera work, like utilizing camera work to make the practical effects look great, was like honestly exceptional.
Dude, Alvarez is so fucking good.
So good. So good. And I could tell, and I know you didn't love this movie, but at worst, you could tell that an Alien fan was making this movie. It was kind of like Evil
Yeah.
Dead. Like it had that same charm. He was honoring the past very well with this one.
Yeah, I like that take. My issues were really with the writing. Um, like I said, I didn't really like any of the characters. Did you buy into these guys?
I liked Rain and Andy as a pair. I really did.
Okay.
The rest were expendable, and that's what I was expecting. In an Alien movie, you latch on to one or two, and then you get excited to see how the others are going to get ripped up by a xenomorph.
Yeah, thank God, dude. The cousin, the asshole cousin, was awful.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting much worse and was hoping for much worse for him. But I felt bad for the. You see it on the poster. Also, this might be the coolest movie poster, like default movie poster in like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's sick. And some of the other posters I've been seeing.
Hmm.
Romulus posters are cooking right now.
So I did want to bring this up. Have you opened Disney Plus lately?
Uh-uh.
So I've been watching the X-Men movies with Morgan, and when you open up Disney Plus, I'm gonna see if it does it on my phone as well. But there's like this huge banner with an Alien Romulus poster on it, and it says like special first look.
Whoa.
Yeah, look at that. See, I just opened Disney Plus, and it's got the Romulus poster with the
Poor
face hugger
kids.
on it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if I was a kid and I, I clicked open my account, even if I was like 10, where I would fucking freak out.
Yeah. That was a freaky scene, freaky poster. But the whole time, like I felt so bad for that character. Like when we were first introduced, like, oh, you're gonna have a rough a rough day.
Yeah. What did you think about the pregnancy stuff? I thought the themes were a little unclear to me, but I thought it was cool. Like the concepts were cool. I just don't know if they really landed the mark on the meaning behind them. I don't know if there was any.
I'm not exactly sure. We're talking about like the pregnancy moment from
Yes.
from the end.
Hmm.
So this is the big spoiler. I had hinted it in my ticket, but what happens is one of the characters is pregnant with a human child, injects herself to survive, or in theory thinks she'll survive if she injects this black goo, the black goo from the Prometheus movies, the Alien
Hmm.
Covenant movies. She injects it, and she turns her baby into an alien, like xenomorph human hybrid, and she gives birth to this baby. I don't know if there was any hidden theme or subliminal messages here. I think it was just body horror, because
Okay.
that's all I got of it. I felt like nauseous watching it and then seeing that like 7'5" basketball player like sprawl around. I was freaking out. Some guy like 5 seats away from me, you could tell he's a big Alien fan, was like cackling and oh shit.
Yeah, that
And
was me.
it was freaky.
um, I I was just thinking back to Prometheus, and I watched Prometheus and Covenant before this. I was thinking back to that scene where she has like essentially the alien
Oh,
abortion,
oh god,
which
that
is
scene's hard to watch.
one of the best scenes in any alien movie, I
So
think.
good.
Um,
That and the scene with David and Walter, like where it's like they're both in camera, both Fassbender androids. I love that scene.
there was a great letterbox review that was, you know how the original slogan is "In space, no one can hear you scream."
Yes.
In space, no one can hear two Michael Fassbenders fuck. What did you think of the Fassbender on Fassbender kiss?
I was fine with it.
I
Dude, I the best part about Alien Covenant, a movie that I didn't like, is Michael Fassbender. That
He's
dude
awesome.
is phenomenal, and I liked that was an interesting take. Like when you get to the androids, and I think they did a good job with Andy and Romulus. We can argue about that. I'm
Hmm.
not bent out of shape about it, but the best part about Covenant was David trying to convince Walter to have the same viewpoints as him, like
Yeah.
convince him of his ideologies. And I think it was just David reflecting that he loves himself. Like it's a ton of self love. I don't know.
Yeah,
It worked for me.
it was cool. Back to Romulus though. For now, I'm sorry, I keep on getting sidetracked here. I thought did you? I thought this was a fairly weak entry. I don't know if it really added anything new. Did
That
you?
okay, that's the big problem. So I got about like an hour and 30 minutes into this. I don't know the exact runtime. Did you check it beforehand? This felt like a
Uh,
2 hour
I
movie.
want to say it was hour 45, but
Yeah, it was pretty
you keep
crisp.
talking. I'll look.
It was crisp, but I'd say for about 80% of this movie, I felt like I could pinpoint every nod. Like, okay, this is Alien, this is Aliens, this is Alien 3. Like I could feel the rumblings of every movie. This is a clear fan service movie. And then by the end of the movie, I started to get frustrated about that. I thought it was going to end in an Alien Covenant way, where you think the good guys win,
Mm-hmm.
and then David like throws up two alien eggs, and the movie ends. And it doesn't go that way. We get the alien human hybrid. Like it has its big wow factor. Like it takes its big home run risk shot.
Yeah.
Aside from that, it does nothing new. And I think that's what the fans almost demanded, which is
Mm.
so weird to me. Like Prometheus and Covenant, however you felt about them, I don't really care. Like I don't think it's crazy to say that Ridley Scott did a great job with those movies from like a technical standpoint at the very least.
Yes.
But I think the fans were split on Prometheus versus Covenant at least a little bit, and then Prometheus and Covenant as a whole. So
Hmm.
this was like the course correct.
Okay. Interesting. I think you're probably right. I guess I wasn't really like in tune with alien culture. So Covenant came out in 2017, right?
Covenant, it was either 17 or 18. I think Prometheus was 2014.
Okay.
So what happened was Prometheus comes out, and it's this like the marketing. It's like it's in the alien universe, so people are anticipating the xenomorph, like
Right.
the
Yeah.
origin of the xenomorph. But it really isn't. It's about humans and their ego and their quest for more, and like trying to find our creators.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you don't get any xenomorph until like the final shot of the movie.
Right.
And I think people got frustrated by that. Ridley Scott had a clear vision for what was going to happen. Like Shaw and David were going to fly off and try and understand the creators,
Mm-hmm.
like try and understand why they created us.
Yeah.
That's what was going to happen. But the fans got pissed that there wasn't enough xenomorph.
Mm.
So Ridley Scott like recrafted and made Alien Covenant instead. So it was kind of like steering towards the aliens, like catering to the fans instead of making the movie he wanted.
Interesting.
That's
That's
why
not
it
what I would have
frustrated me.
expected, especially with his filmography like Blade Runner. I mean, you make The Last Duel in 2022, you'd imagine that you've got like some say in the story. Yeah, I mean, I gave this an A minus blast grade because this was my first Alien movie on the big screen.
Okay,
Um,
I saw Covenant on the big screen.
it was really cool to see the xenomorph that big on the first time. It felt like a more imposing presence. Like at home, I don't know if the Alien movies really resonate as that crazy of horror for me.
Sure.
I've never really found them that scary, just more as a like tense sci-fi movie. And in this felt like horror, which I'm sure Fede Alvarez's influence has to do with that too, because Ridley Scott is a tried and true sci-fi filmmaker when it comes down to it.
Yeah, but I think the first thought that comes to mind is this horror element from Romulus. It stems from what works in Alien. Less is more. I
Mm-hmm.
think he uses that concept very well here. And I think to tie back to your initial question of does this do anything new? Is it The Force Awakens? I think the best elements of this movie are all pulled from the best elements of the
Yeah,
old movies.
yeah,
That's a problem. Like
it
the
is.
element that you're talking about, the reason it was great for you is because it was your first theater experience with an Alien movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like that adds to it. Like people that saw Alien on the big screen or Aliens are going to be like, okay, I've seen this before.
Right.
There's no new tricks.
Have you heard the explanation on the title?
No.
It's so funny to me. Fede Alvarez is not as clever as I think, or as he thinks, I guess. I was reading, I want to say it was a USA Today thing interview with him, but I could be misquoting. Sorry if I didn't cite correctly. But basically they were like, so why is this movie called Romulus? And he said that there are siblings, the like themes of siblings and like what makes somebody a brother and a sister, what do they owe you, that kind of stuff with Andy and Rain. But he was like, you might be thinking, why isn't this called Remus? Because Romulus and Remus were the brothers. And if you don't know, do you know the story of them?
No.
Romulus and Remus were two brothers who were raised by wolves and grew up to like found Rome. And then Romulus killed Remus after disagreements on how Rome should be like built. And so I'd expect him to have some meaning behind like Romulus killing Remus. And no, it was Romulus has 7 letters. And this is the 7th entry in the Alien franchise. That is the stupidest reasoning I've ever heard.
Yeah, it just looked better on the poster.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to see Alien Remus.
Alien anus.
But regardless, I was a little disappointed by that because I was expecting a little bit of background or some influence of that like founding of Rome story, and there really isn't much in there. There's some sibling themes though, like he says. What was your favorite sequence in this movie?
All right, so there's a sequence towards the third act where Kaylee Spaney, she's bunkered down with Andy. It's Rain and Andy. Like they cannot get through a door, and there's about 7 xenomorphs closing in on them. And she thinks to turn off the gravity and start spraying these aliens, and you just see all of the exploding acid blood everywhere. Thought it was a really cool sequence.
That was very, very cool. I didn't know, like, are aliens killed by guns in the other movies?
Yes.
Okay.
But the whole point of like the acidic blood, it's like a defense mechanism.
Right. Yeah.
People can't use close quarter weapons against them
Mhm.
because they'll get murked.
Hey, did you watch the AVP movies?
No.
Neither
God,
have
no.
I. I kind of want to check them out.
They look really, really stupid.
Yeah, that sound right up my
Okay.
alley.
Now that we're done with the Alien franchise, in a sense,
Mhm.
what do you like better? Predator, like peak Predator or peak Alien?
Oh, I mean, Predator is just more of my type of movie.
Me too. I think Alien is a better like movie.
Yeah,
Predator is a better blast movie.
that's a good take. Also, thanks for asking what my favorite sequence in the movie is.
Yeah.
My missed to listen. I love the cryo chamber stuff.
Oh, the best. Well,
yes.
okay. You're talking the end.
No, I'm talking the beginning. They're in the cryo chamber. You see that there are face huggers like crawling around. Andy is like frozen trying to reboot. They're locked in here, and you see that the face huggers are like reheating out of cryo sleep, and they're gonna wreak havoc. And the tension in that scene was just perfect for me. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
I watched that scene with my ears plugged. I was so anxious. I had my. I don't know if you ever seen me use this tick, but I put my shirt over my nose.
Lem does that.
Yeah, dude, I was wired during that. Great example of Fede Alvarez. Like, great example of tension building.
Don't Breathe is still his masterpiece after this, right?
I think someone made a comp that the blind guy from Don't Breathe is just the alien in this movie. It's like the same premise.
Honestly, yeah.
The bad guy taking down the crew one by one. Don't Breathe is a way better movie than this.
Is it better than Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Would you go? I think I would go Don't Breathe, Evil Dead,
yes,
and Romulus.
Absolutely. He did write Don't Breathe too, so I don't know if we want to throw that in there.
That helps. I mean, it adds an extra flair here. So, okay, we like Alvarez. We weren't like married to Romulus. I liked it a little bit more than you, but do you think Ridley Scott makes Romulus, or does he do something else? Like, do you miss? What does this look like with Ridley Scott behind the camera?
I think it looks completely different. Like their aesthetic style is so different. I can we go to Alien rankings real quick and then come back to this question?
Sure, Mr. Pod. Let's go.
Because my rankings from worst to best are Resurrection, which I couldn't finish, Alien 3, which I slept through half of, Prometheus, which was very good, Romulus, which was not so good, but the blast grower really brings it up, Aliens, then Covenant, and then Alien.
Got it. I would go starting from last, going to number 1, Resurrection,
Okay.
and 3 are both very bad. I do not like them, and I
Mhm.
have no intentions of revisiting Covenant because it frustrated me so much. I loved Prometheus. I was expecting a way different movie. I feel like if I rewatch Covenant, it climbs, but for now, it's stuck here. Then we're moving to like alien movies I enjoy watching. Romulus at the 4 spot, Prometheus at the 3 spot. There's a special watch the first time was even better on rewatch. Aliens, and then chalk pick, I know, but Alien at the
Okay.
1 spot.
I like it. And the reason I want to do that is because the reason Covenant is so high in my rankings is that it is fucking gorgeous.
It's I think it's one of the best, not just alien movies or best looking alien movies. It's one of the best looking science fiction movies I've ever seen.
I agree. And the planet that it's just shot beautifully from start to finish. And that is so different from the way that Fede Alvarez explores this world in the like company home planet or wherever they are, the mining colony. Is like it reminded me of Eraserhead with the sound design, and it was actually making me pretty anxious.
Yeah, I think that Ridley Scott does a good job of, and it's two different styles, and I don't think there's anything wrong with either. But Ridley Scott is more grand and epic. This movie with Romulus and Fede Alvarez's style, it's more gritty and
Contained.
contained.
Yes.
Yes, gritty.
I like that, especially knowing like Don't Breathe is just it all takes place in a house. Evil Dead all takes place in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. So he does like to isolate his characters, and I think that this works. Like I said before, I think this works as a horror movie better than any other Alien movie does. I think it works worst as a sci-fi movie than any other Alien does.
That's not ridiculous in
Okay.
any sense. And to tell you the truth, I think that was refreshing. Like you go from Prometheus and Covenant, and if you don't want to make a sequel to that and cap off that trilogy, fine. Then do something different. Go do the horror route. I think that this character, the xenomorph, lends itself to horror.
I agree. I agree. He is really imposing in this.
I wanted to tell you something. Like the I wish there were more scenes like the one the pregnant girl is at a door
Mm-hmm.
and the characters have to make a decision about opening the door to rescue her, but the
Yes.
xenomorph is waiting for that door to be opened. I
Right.
wanted more scenes showcasing the xenomorph's intelligence because I think people just go into these movies thinking that it's just some creepy thing to look at. No,
Right.
this is a smart, creepy predator.
Mm-hmm. Not as smart or creepy as Predator though.
Ducks on that.
Nice. What? So we've seen Fede Alvarez reboot Evil Dead. We've seen him reboot Alien now, and those are two very beloved franchises from two of the greatest directors of our lifetimes, Sam Raimi and Ridley Scott. What work do you think he would best be suited to tackle next? Like, what franchise would you like to see him reboot?
It's funny just because it's horror. I'd trust him with Halloween.
Really
Yeah, I do something different with that franchise. I don't want another reboot of that story. I'd love to see something super contained with Michael Myers.
interesting. I think I've had enough Halloween for now. Um, I would stick him though in a similar realm in Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think Friday the 13th would be really good with him as well.
Yeah,
Bring him back to the cabins.
I think just like any slasher, this guy could really get a hold of. Even like a Psycho reboot could be crazy with him. He really is so talented behind the camera.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I'd love to see him do something original, but like go back and do another Don't Breathe. What does Don't Breathe 2 look like with him? Do you think he got that like request from the production company and was like, "Go fuck yourself, guys"?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. What does Don't Breathe 3 look like though? That's my question because he did write both. So
He wrote Don't Breathe 2.
yeah,
Oh, that movie that is
just
brutal.
didn't direct it.
That is brutal. No wonder. Don't get your name attached to that thing.
So
What does Don't Breathe 3 look like? You bring in the Avengers. He gets his dogs back, the lead from the first movie, and then I don't know. He becomes Daredevil.
yeah, I don't know. That's a weird like franchise. That should never have been a franchise.
Never.
Um,
Never. It could have been if they didn't have that one turkey baster scene. Don't
yes.
Breathe 2 actually works, and then you probably get Don't Breathe 3.
Yep. Yep. but I am interested. He doesn't have any projects lined up right now, as far as I can tell. But I am very interested in what comes next for Fede Alvarez.
I know you didn't love it, but this movie's going to do great at the box office. It seems to be a hit with a lot of Alien fans. He's going to get more work. I don't think this is the end. This is
Yeah.
probably a new beginning for this guy.